Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is May 30th, 2026, and we have more details of the financial package of Anthony Gordon. Also, Ansu Fati nearing an exit out of Barcelona. And finally, Barcelona eyeing Racing de Santander's left back. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo. We'll begin this video with the news in regards to the Joan Gamper Trophy match because as you know by now, or as you might know by now, Barcelona's preseason will begin around July 12th to July 13th, where Barcelona will go to St. George's Park in England to train. And of course, as always, the last match of the preseason is always the Joan Gamper Trophy match, which is a friendly match against a club that usually Barcelona, negotiates with to participate in this trophy. Now, Barcelona were in negotiations with Ajax since this year was the anniversary of the death of Johan Cruyff, someone who was linked both to Barcelona and Ajax. But unfortunately, this match has fallen through because during the dates that Barcelona are hoping to play the Joan Gamper Trophy match, Ajax will be playing qualifying rounds for European competitions, so they will not be available. So instead, Barcelona are now considering other candidates for the Joan Gamper Trophy match, which include Roma, Napoli, Dortmund, and the Mexican side, Cruz Azul. And of course, my question to you is, out of these four, who would you like to see Barcelona play a friendly match against? Let me know down below in the comment section. I think for me would be probably Dortmund. I think Dortmund out of these four would be the most interesting matchup, but either one of them I think will be a cool friendly match to end the preseason and kickstart the 2026-2027 season, where hopefully Barcelona will be champions yet again. Now, speaking of the preseason, while we're still on the topic of the preseason, as you know, Barcelona usually do tours. 2 years ago, they did the preseason tour to the U.S. Last season, they did the preseason tour to Korea and Japan. This summer, there will not be a preseason tour to another country because, of course, there is the World Cup, so the players are going to be tired. So the last thing Flick wants to do is add a long trip across the ocean or to somewhere far away for the team. But nonetheless, of course, Barcelona are going to have to figure out a way of making money because preseason tours are money printers. They bring in a lot of money, and without a tour, Barcelona going to have to figure out a different way to generate money without exhausting the players. And of course, one of those options was Barcelona were planning a friendly match in Kenya against Liverpool, but it looks like that friendly match will not happen because there's currently an Ebola outbreak. And of course, Barcelona's rules prohibit the team from traveling to places where there is a health risk. So it looks like the friendly match against Liverpool this summer will not happen. We'll see what other friendly matches. Of course, there was other options. Like, for example, there was a friendly match in Morocco that Barcelona received an invite for against a local team. And there's even talks about a possible friendly match against River Plate. That would be interesting, especially if Barcelona end up signing Julian Alvarez. Can you imagine Julian Alvarez playing against his former team, River Plate? That would be interesting. But of course, no plans set in stone right now. We're going to have to wait and see where Barcelona end up playing a friendly match and where Barcelona, or who Barcelona play against in the Joan Gamper Trophy match. Anyway, so let's move on to the next bit of news because, of course, as you know by now, Barcelona's first official signing of the summer transfer market is no other than Anthony Gordon, who officially signed his contract at the Barcelona offices, linking him to the Blaugrana club until 2031. There was an official presentation of the player, which, of course, was followed by an interview. And well, now we have more details of the financial package that made this signing possible. Now, initially, it was said that Barcelona paid 70 million euros plus 10 million euros in variables, but it looks like that number is actually higher. It looks like Barcelona paid 80 million euros fixed amount to Newcastle for Anthony Gordon with 10 million euros in variables. So this signing could end up costing 90 million euros, which, if you ask me, that's a lot of money. But of course, only time will tell whether this was a lot of money or if it was a good price, because of course, it will all depend on Anthony Gordon's performance in Barcelona over the next 5 seasons. Now, we do have details about those variables, those 10 million euros in variables. The first 5 million euros, it has to do with the amount of matches that Anthony Gordon will play. Excuse me, Barcelona will have to pay Newcastle 1 million euro per season for every season where Anthony Gordon plays 60% or more of the matches. So if Anthony Gordon plays 60% or more of the matches, Barcelona pay 1 million for that season, up to 5 seasons for a 5 million euro max. The other 5 million euros in variables, it's completely tied on Anthony Gordon winning major trophies with Barcelona. So if that happens, Barcelona will have to pay the other 5 million euros. Now, in regards to Anthony Gordon's salary, he will be receiving a 7 million euro net salary, which officially doubles his salary from when he was at Newcastle. And finally, out of the 80 million euros that Barcelona have paid Newcastle, 12 million euros will go to Everton because Everton still owned 50% of the rights of the players. So, hey, good for Everton, who get to make, a decent chunk of money out of this transfer. All right, on to the next bit of news, because speaking of Anthony Gordon, we do have to talk about Ansu Fati because he is nearing an exit out of Barcelona. Now, as I told you before in a previous video, Monaco had agreed to activate the option to buy in Ansu Fati's contract worth 11 million euros. Because even though Ansu Fati had a roller coaster of a loan with lots of ups and downs, eventually he did end up making an impact. He had 25 appearances with Monaco, scored, I think it was 9 or 10 goals. I can't remember at the top of my head. And he was, pretty helpful in Monaco's quest to qualify for European competitions. And as such, Monaco have decided to activate the option to buy worth 11 million euros. But of course, the last thing that was missing out of this was reaching an agreement with the player himself, with Ansu Fati. That would include, of course, him reducing his salary because his current salary is simply unaffordable for Monaco. Well, it looks like the reason why there was no agreement yet, because I told you about Monaco wanting to activate his clause, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago. The reason is because it looks like Ansu Fati was hoping to come back to Barcelona and compete with Rafinha for that left wing position. He was hoping that his improved performance with Monaco would earn him a spot, or at least a call-up to the preseason with Barcelona. It's reported that he even instructed his agent, Jorge Mendes, to pause the move to Monaco. But now that Ansu Fati saw that Barcelona have signed Anthony Gordon, well, he's figured that there is no room for him at Barcelona. So he has told Jorge Mendes to move forward with this transfer. Looks like there is an agreement in place between him and Monaco to make this transfer happen. So it looks like it's only a matter of time until Ansu Fati becomes a permanent signing of Monaco, and until Monaco pay Barcelona 11 million euros, which on one hand, of course, 11 million euros is always good given Barcelona's financial situation. But on the other hand, it's really sad to see Ansu Fati, and leaving the club. I had a lot of hopes that he could perhaps be a star at Barcelona, having came up through the academy, seeing him debut and how amazing he did at first. I always hoped that he would, recover from all those injuries and become the star that we all hoped him to become. But unfortunately, it looks like that's not going to happen, that he will be going to Monaco, which at the same time, I'm kind of happy for him because, he needed that. He needed to go to a club where the pressure is less, where the expectations are less, so he can once again start enjoying playing football, rediscover himself, and, get rid of all those ghosts that haunted him from all those multiple injuries that he had at Barcelona. So even though this is not completely official, it's only a matter of time, I do wish Ansu Fati the best of luck. I hope he succeeds at Monaco, and I hope he finds what he is looking for. Now, let's end today's video with the news that Barcelona currently eyeing Racing de Santander's left back, who's no other than Jorge Salinas. Now, Racing just earned a promotion to First Division, which is pretty cool. And Barcelona are now eyeing one of the players that was key for that promotion, who's Jorge Salinas. He's a 19-year-old left back. He is someone with kind of the left back that Barcelona, or fullback that Barcelona always looks for, very offensive. He provided 7 assists in all the matches that he played with Racing de Santander. He has a contract with Racing de Santander until 2029 with a release clause that's only 4 million euros, a pretty low release clause, which will go up by 10 million more on July 1st now that Racing Santander have been promoted to first division. Now, of course, this would not be kind of like an immediate solution because Barcelona have Balde and they're hoping to keep Cancelo. This will be more as a future bet. And honestly, if I was Barca, what I would do, I would pay the 4 million euros now. 4 million euros is nothing for a promising left back who's coming out of the Racing Santander Academy, an academy that's very well established, has very good reputation as far as developing young talent. And I would keep him at Racing Santander on loan, sign him and then keep him there because after all, Racing are going to need him since they're playing first division this season. And then, bring him to Barcelona in the future. But of course, I want to hear you guys' thoughts. What do you think about Barcelona signing Jorge Salinas? And also tell me what do you think about Ansu Fati leaving Barcelona and the financial package that Barcelona have paid for Anthony Gordon. Anyways, I will be uploading another video shortly, so stay tuned to the channel. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and as always, Visca Barça.